Dragon Source, sexiest man alive, alien slayer, demon slayer, superhero. And we're live on New Earth. Let's go. So, this video, I'm going to be giving you the keys to your massive success. Sun's finally coming out. It was raining earlier. Anyway, what do all the great, massively successful people in any respective industry throughout history have in common? Well, they have many different talents. You know, they tend to be visionaries. They tend to have extreme work ethics, be wildly driven, tend to be geniuses, just completely devoted to their craft, right? But what really set them apart? I'll tell you. Take a few examples. Nikola Tesla, Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs. Okay, these characters all had a certain magic about them, right? What defined that? Jeff Bezos, right? One of the richest guys alive, right? Really believed in himself, right? But it's something even deeper, a core characteristic that I've identified. Let's go through them one by one. Steve Jobs. Now, you could argue that he was just a puppet to push out, you know, whatever elitist agenda they were trying to get the public onto, you know, smartphone addiction and all that. But still, it took a certain amount of creative genius to create the Apple, to create the smartphone, right? What are you watching this video on now? You know, now everyone has one. Nikola Tesla, over 100 patents, right? The Tesla coil named after him, right? Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever play the game of basketball, according to modern consensus. I disagree, but that's the modern consensus. You know, he had an insane work ethic, right? Jeff Bezos bet everything, bet his life savings on trying to push his Amazon business, right? You know, the current industry leaders of retail were like, man, you're crazy. That'd never work. Who's going to want to buy stuff online when they can't even see it physically? Well, here we are today. You know how many stores have gone out of business because of Jeff Bezos? Sears. What else? Sports Authority, you know, big retail stores. They can't compete with the internet, right? So what did all these visionaries have in common? What did they all have in common? Oh, they were either the first or the best. They were either the first or the best. Simple, right? Wow, it's really flooded out here. The park bench is underwater. Been raining a lot lately. Anyway, they were the first or they were the best, right? Michael Jordan, he was not the first to play the game of basketball. He was just the best to do it. Jeff Bezos, he was arguably not, you know, the best website, but he's the first to really have that idea to push delivery on a mass scale, you know, outside of the postal service, but in the form of retail, right? He was the first to really try that and push that to its limit, right? Steve Jobs, he, you know, he needed Steve Wozniak to do the computer tech stuff, right? He wasn't really super tech savvy. He was just more of a creative visionary, creative genius, right? He was the first to have that idea, or at least the first one to push the idea of you know, what Apple products were at that time, innovating that industry, right? It's a good view. And then, the first one to come out with the smartphone, the Apple, right? Nikola Tesla, the first one to invent a bunch of inventions, right? So, point of saying all that is to say this: you have to be the first or the best to win big in life. There's just no way around it. You have to do something that no one has ever seen before, or you have to be the best at what people are already doing, right? You have to be the best player in a game, or you have to change the rules of the game or make a whole new game altogether, right? You could argue Kanye West did both those things. He was the one of the greatest to do it, and he also completely innovated the industry, right? The sampling and 808s and Heartbreak album and all that, just stylistically. Anyway, so how do you be the first or be the best? Well, from what I can tell, looking at the internet landscape right now with all the look at that, ducks. It's a whole logjam, the internet landscape in general, especially social media and YouTube. It's just so many people that are trying to do the same thing. It's like it's overflowing. It's a flood. Okay? Like I can't even walk on the normal path because it's overflow. It's flooded. It's flooded with people. It's flooded with water droplets that are all in the same place, and the whole path is muddled. It's like take that as a metaphor. I'm just looking down at the surface, reflecting, like, man, I can't even get through all this water. So it's like many paths you see on the internet are just logjam. It's just too many people trying to do the same thing, saying the same thing, using the same titles, the same keywords, same regurgitated messages, all sounding like a symphony of parakeets and not a sexy one like the dragon. Okay? So how do you be the first, right? We've already ruled out trying to be the best. I mean, have you though, or are you really still think you're Kobe, right? What did Kobe do? He copied all Michael Jordan's moves. He was just the best copycat of Michael Jordan, and then he became Kobe. Now he's a meme. Kobe. Now all you think you're Kobe. You all want to shoot your shot, which is your little balled up wad, crumpled up wad of ideas. You half baked, regurgitated, threw them down on the paper. It's Kobe, shoot your shot. And even if you land the shot, it's still going to land in a wastebasket, won't it? Yeah, you didn't think about that part. Why? Because even if you succeed, what did you even do that was original? Right? Even if you do succeed, even if you are Kobe of your industry, like, so? So? How did you actually change the world? Right? So, it's reprioritizing, right? Instead of looking at success in a conventional way, maybe we should look at success as like how much of an individual you are. There's a dog making a video. No problem. Have a good day. Um, where was I? Dogs don't care. They're just like, hey, there's another human to love on. Made my day. Okay. So, probably not going to be the best. How do you be the first? Well, you have to be an individual. You have to truly tap into your individuality. You have to get your mind in a space no one's mind has ever even been in before. You have to walk a completely uncharted path. All right, let me give you a metaphor. Let me give you a metaphor. You see all these trees right here, trees all around. Now, they're not redwood trees, But that was a metaphor I had in mind. But whatever these are, maybe oak trees, I can't tell. Let's say they're oak trees. Now you have a whole bunch of oak trees that are all trying to get to the light, the sun, right? They're all trying to grow the tallest so they can get the most sun. They're all trying to spread their roots out the widest so that they can get the most nutrients from the soil and grow the tallest to get the most sunlight, right? The sun is a metaphor for like you shining, you getting attention, you being a star, right? Energy, like tapping into a source of energy, right? So you have a whole bunch of these oak trees that are all in the same space, fighting for space, trying to all grow the highest so that it can get the sun, and you plant a fresh oak seed right in the thicket, right in the thick of all these oak trees. You think it's going to stand any good chance of growing higher than all these well-established giant oak trees around it? Right? Even if it does, it's going to take a lot of time, effort, energy, nurturing, watering that seed. And even then, it's still going to have like superior tree genetics, right? So at a certain point, we have to realize like, let's not just plant the same seed around a whole bunch of trees of the same type that are already well established. Instead, wouldn't it be wiser to plant an X factor seed, a mystery seed, a seed no one's even heard of before, a mutant strain of seed? You as an individual spirit, a seed unlike anything else. Plant your mystery seed in a wide open space, a wide open field where there are no other trees to compete with. You have no idea what this tree is going to look like full grown because you've never truly watered the seed of your spirit. See? And you might mess up. You might, it might be a drought season. It might not get enough water. You might not know how to water it. You might not know how to care for it. You might not know like what support structure it needs around it or the right elements to the right weather. Like you might not know. You might not know the best place to plant this seed. You might not know the best way to care for it immediately. But eventually, you'll figure it out. And it'll be a big, tall, beautiful tree with no other competition because it'll completely be in its own lane. And it'll be a refreshing sight for everyone else, for all the tourists who happen to stumble across that path. Like, wow, there just happens to be a big, beautiful tree here with no other trees. Isn't that amazing? Like, it would be like a tourist attraction at that point. It would be like an oasis in a desert, metaphorically. All right? That's what I am. I'm the oasis in your desert. I'm reminding you, be an individual. Be yourself. All right? Be you. That's when the sound is beautiful. It's a quote by J. Cole. All right? Do something no one else can do. Bring something to life. Bring a creation into this world that has never been created, that has never been done. Instead of all trying to be the best in the same game, in the same lane, stepping on each other's toes, copying each other, make up a whole new game. Make up a whole new lane. Right? Do something that hasn't been done. You're automatically going to get more respect doing that from real spirits. Even if society looks at you as a failure at first, like people who can really see things clearly, people who can see past the illusion are like, you know what, I respect them for even trying to do something different rather than just copying everyone else. That's respect right there. Okay? So, in conclusion, be the first or be the best. Unless you really are convinced that you're Kobe, I would definitely recommend going to be the first route. Only way to do that, be you. Peace. Now command my spirit to take all the thoughts in my head, drop them into my heart, and make me totally real on the Creation Lightship New War timeline where this video goes viral. Boom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Peace. Take care.